Hi traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. So how many of you are ready to get this party started? Boy, I am. I'm so excited. I'm peeing my pants right now. Actually, I'm wearing underwear. They're a little damp, but you know, hey, yeah, it's all good. All right, let's get this party started. So let's start with the euro dollar. Okay, so euro, first and foremost, we are below that trend line. So this trend line is now very important. I will actually change the color because now you have to imagine any move up to that yellow trend line is a sell, any which way you slice it. Randall says go commando. He 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 he. No, I can't. I can't. It's weird. It's weird going commando, and I've got I have a horse of a dog sitting underneath my feet. It's just kind of weird. I just can't do it. No, not possible. Not possible. Okay, anyway, so this yellow trend line, any move back to, this would be 111. This is where, well, 111, and it's 110.80, but 111 on the way. Amanda said, I'm eating lunch. Sorry. Okay, anyway, this yellow trend line, just so you all know, if we get back above it, I'm done. Like, being a dollar bull was the wrong decision for me, okay? Underpants with a trap door. All right, you guys, enough. All right, let's change conversation back to the euro. Okay, so this yellow trend line is really where you know, being a dollar bull, in my opinion, is not going to be the right decision. Like, you know, I realize that was a false breakdown. Got to get out, take my lumps, you know, take some small losses, get out and be done with it. But while we're below this yellow trend line, the move, the expected move is lower from here. Now, since I got stuck on this like tweet, whatever, with some guys from, well, Ed Matz is on there, and then some dude from FXCM in Europe, and this guy Nicholas in Paris, who's out of CMC, which is a very sharp technician in my opinion. I kind of been on the on some stream with them. Anyway, I believe that these areas right here are doable. Okay, as long as data continues to improve, I think that we're, you know, these areas are even doable as early as this week. So it's not, I'm not talking like, oh, well, it's going to take us the next month to get down here. No, I think that sub 108 is possible. If we have a good GDP number today, let's say pending home sales are strong, weekly unemployment claims are okay. You know, I don't see any reason why we can't head below 109 today. Now, I don't know how much more we're going to get down here, especially we have, you know, on Friday we have like employment cost index, PCE, personal income, personal spending. All that has to really improve for us to see these levels, okay? So I'm not even talking about today, okay? That's not today. Today I'm wondering if we even can make it down to this 108. 63, which is 161% extension. Anyway, for today though, I think that any move up towards 110 or maybe just above 110 is going to be capped. All right, 110 is obviously support. It's a big round number. You have to imagine that stops can get triggered above there, especially if we have some weak data. So let's imagine a move back up to 110.25 is doable today, especially if the data is not peachy. You know, advanced GDP numbers, they've got to beat. If they don't beat, you know, we can see these levels again. So I'm going to say, you know, for resistance, 110, 110.25, whoops, 25, all doable. We are in a bearish bias. Okay, support right now is 109. And if we break through 109, just so you guys know, if we break through 109, ultimately, you know, for today or tomorrow, the target would be right here. The 161% extension comes in at 108.60. Um, Now, one of the reasons why I think this is doable right here. Keep in mind that we have been below like the daily 618 retracement, which comes in at 109.40. We kind of stopped in between fib levels, so I still think that we can make our way down here. I don't think that's asking a whole. It's too out of the question right now, right? But that's what I'm specifically looking for is really 109 to 110, 110.25. I think if you guys can get an opportunity, let's just make sure that the advanced GDP numbers are not a complete train wreck. But like, let's say they come in at, I'll just throw this out there, instead of expectations coming in at 1.6%, let's say it's like 1.2, 1.3%. So it is weaker than expectations, but it's not like a complete disaster crap show. Then if that's the case, we could backfill to 110, maybe 110 and a quarter, but those are areas that I think you really want to be on the short side of the euro. Okay. Now, obviously, if we get a 2% or 2.5% read in advanced GDP, I mean, we're gonna break right back to 109 and possibly below. Okay, but that's, again, everything's very sensitive to data, and everything's data dependent. Like I said earlier this morning, that's first thing I wanted to make sure that everybody knows, that the data has not been particularly good here in North America, in the U.S., and so that we need to really turn that tide a little bit to keep the dollar strengthening. Okay, at least against the euro dollar, and maybe against the cable too. All right, speaking of the cable, let's talk about the pound dollar and the pound. So we finally hit the 618 retracement, which is at 152, 152.50, 60. Okay, we finally hit it. Great, we're here. Now you notice that the cable has had a really difficult time. Look at the bounce, and I was looking overnight. Okay, we had mortgage approvals came down, M4 money supply came in worse than expected, net lending to individuals came in a little bit better than expected. Overall, kind of mishmashy numbers that really shouldn't weigh this heavily on the pound right now. But man, the pound, just notice, and let me get rid of some of this stuff just so we don't just kind of get rid of some of the just notice how heavy the pound is trading, isn't it? It's trading so freaking heavy. I mean, there are no signs of a bounce here. I mean, yeah, we've stabilized at a 618, but that's it. I mean, I'm gonna dude you. I mean, dude, this is heavy. I mean, the euros bounced 60 pips off the lows. Why? I don't know. But the cable, nothing. I mean, we're trading it. We're trading 10 pips from breaking down yesterday's lows. I mean, holy crap. Who wants to be long the cable right now? Yeah, and I'm not short the pound dollar. I shorted it yesterday and made 10 pips, like a bozo. Or was it yesterday? I was yesterday or the day before. But it's like I'm not short the pound. I should be short the pound, but I'm not short the pound. But man, this thing is trading really heavy. I think 152 is very doable today, yeah, on strong U.S. data. Okay, and any rally back to 153 now, you have to imagine people that are long that have been, because they're doing the same thing we're doing. They saw the euro dollar bounce from 109, and they said, well, look, the pound is trading at the 618 retracement, right? Imagine you're right here, and you see the euro start bouncing, so you get long the cable, right? You're buying the pound thinking, okay, we can bounce at least back to here, no problem. So you see the euro continuing to bounce, and you buy the cable, and nothing's happening. What happens if the euro rolls back over? I mean, you're going to cut your losses quick, right? All these stops, think about the stops that are building down here, right? So the low, 48. I mean, I hate to write 152.50, but I mean, I mean, 152 is really next support, and it looks doable. Okay, I'll give it an asterisk because I think that's pretty important support down here. It's horizontal. It's 786 retracements right here. Now, any rally back to 153, you got people that are nervous that are like, okay, I got long the pound and the euro just rallied 70 pips, and the pound is actually, I'm losing money being long the pound. So if it gets anywhere close to 53.10, they're going to say, all right, I'm happy I got that. Okay, so 153.10 be resistance. And I'm going to put bearish trend just because of the trend that the dollar is developing. Okay. All right. Let's go over to the Swissy. So I did buy some more Swissy overnight. Just so you know, let me tell you my cost average. My cost average in the dollar Swiss right now is 98.08. Okay, that's my cost average of my Swissy, and I bought some when it dipped down to 99 cents last night. I put in an order to buy it right here. Okay, so here is the Swissy, and you know, I wanted to buy it, add some when we got to 99 cents, and I did. Now, any dip down to, it's just like the euro dollar, any dip down to 97.75, I'm still bullish. We get below 97.75 and I'm going to have to cut and run, and I have to say, all right, I was wrong. That was a mistake. You know, like same thing with the euro. If the euro gets back above 111, I made a mistake. I can't be, you know, I can't be long the dollar anymore. It's a false breakout, or, you know, we're just more of a range bound environment. So don't think I'm going to sit here and count my chickens yet before they've hatched, because the dollar Swiss, although in a 2015 breakout scenario, really has to get above parity before I get very comfortable with the Swissy. Okay, and we really have to get above 102.50 before I get really, really comfortable, like where I start moving up stops and just saying, you know, boy, I can't wait to see what the outcome here is. But right now, there's a lot of work to do in the Swissy, so don't think that it's just some home run trade, because it's not. All right. All right. Where's support for today? 98.50 should be support. This is, remember, this is resistance on the way up. Remember, we struggled here for a day. Okay, so 98.50 is going to be support on the way back down. That's 98.45 actually, but we'll write that down. No, 98.45. Sorry. Resistance 99.60. And we are bullish. It's attempting its breakout, so we're bullish there. All right. Let's go over the yen. So the dollar yen, you know, dollar yen is not as pretty of a picture. Remember, we do have the BOJ tonight. So yesterday, now what I'm surprised about, you know, see how we got that spike up in the dollar yen. You know, yesterday we said, well, if we rally to 21.50, it's a short. Down to 119, it's probably a good long. I don't think that's changed at all. The thing about the dollar yen is you have the BOJ tonight, obviously. Okay. Now the BOJ is, you know, a lot of people expected the BOJ to actually move on, you know, to do more quantitative easing. I don't think the Fed's actions yesterday are going to sway the Fed. Okay. Or I'm sorry, the Fed's actions yesterday are going to sway the BOJ. I think the BOJ is probably going to stay on hold. But if they do stay on hold, you know, I think that has the potential to push down the dollar yen. I am still long yen. Okay, I'm still short euro yen. I'm short Swiss yen. I'm short New Zealand yen, and I'm short Canadian yen. Excuse me. I'm not short the dollar yen, and I'm not long the dollar yen. I really don't know how to play it right now. I still think a move up to 21.50 is a good short, and so today, if we can get up there, I'll write down that number. If we can get 21.50, that's a good short. You know, obviously support is firming really well, and you can see it very clearly right here at the 38% retracement, right? Low, high, 38% retracement, hold, 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 hold. That all comes in at 120.20. Okay, 120.20. It's really, really key support. Okay, we're in a range there. Let's go in the Canadian. So, you know, it's interesting. I bought the Canadian yesterday. You guys might have recalled. I said that the RSI was the most oversold right there that we had seen since Ron in our chat room, who's Desper, but he had pointed out that we hadn't been that low in relative strength since we were at 122 in the US dollar Canadian. And following that 122 move, relative strength wasn't that low since we were down here. Following that relative strength that low, we obviously rallied substantially from there. And I'm like, I picked up the dollar yen, or dollar Canadian yesterday. I bought some here, I bought a little bit more here, I bought a little bit more here, and then when we bounced, I sold like half of it for a loss right there, but I held the other half, and I still have it. Okay, my cost average is 131, 131.21. Now, what's not so funny, but it's funny. It's funny, but it's not so funny, is I actually put in an order to sell my dollar Canadian at 132.39 last night. I wanted it that 786 retracement. The high was 132.37 and 0.9 of a pip. So I literally missed my order by 1.1 pips. I mean, you know, how crappy is that? You know, I missed my order by 1 pip. Now, I have since adjusted my order. I actually have my order now adjusted for higher, okay, because now I'm in front of the computer. I can manage the trade. I put my order out for higher now, so it's not at that place. But yeah, that 786 retracement's that's gonna be tough resistance today. So that comes in at 132.40 basically. 132.40, and I think if we can break 132.40, we go and retest those highs. Now support for the dollar Canadian. That spike low, let's see it right there. That spike low right there. $131.70. It's not great support, but it's there. We're still in a range here in the Canadian. Let's go look at the Kiwi. Now, so the RBNZ met overnight. So what did the RBNZ do? What did the RBNZ do? They left rates unchanged, okay? What didn't they do? They didn't try to talk down their currency. They did say that, you know, the rate of the New Zealand dollar is high, but they didn't try to talk it down, and they didn't mention anything about future rate cuts. Now, from what I like, the analysts, the analysts that I've read, most of them are now looking at a rate cut coming because they think that the high Kiwi dollar is going to prompt a cut in the OCR by the RBNZ. But the Kiwi snapped back because of it. Now we had a lot of volatility. You can see during the RBNZ decision, we rallied initially. I was driving, so I was watching it while I was driving. I had to go pick up my kids, both of them. Why they had another half day, I have no idea. But my wife was at a meeting, so I had to go run and grab them. And so I didn't make it back in time, but I was actually watching when it was happening. We rallied. then we sold off, then we rallied it back, and then we were just kind of fluttering around, and then we started grinding higher. Anyway, the Kiwi dollar, just realize that we are holding that Gartley pattern that we've drawn out, right? That Gartley pattern is still valid, right? Now, that 66.50, although we've been as low as 66.20 on that spike low, 66, where we go? I'm trying to look at the lows here. We went as low as 66.20. I still think that 66.50 is going to be major Roger Dodger support. Okay, see the fib confluence here? 66.50 is major support. Now, if we get some stronger U.S. data, we'll probably go back down there and test that again. But that is strong support. Resistance. Now it's all very messy. Let me get rid of these just because you guys have seen it. I don't want to do that. Sorry, excuse my language. I don't want to delete all that. I don't want to delete that either. Okay, so resistance now, in my opinion, is going to be any move back up to the support. That's already being tough, but this right here, 67.35, that's going to be really tough resistance on the way up. Okay, and we are in a range environment. Okay, so when we get back, we're going to do the Aussie. We'll do the dollar index. We'll take a look at the peso, and if I'm not mistaken, the peso is pretty firm right now. It is. Why is the peso stronger? Can anybody quickly answer the question? Why is the U.S. dollar Mexican peso stronger? That's right. Stocks are weak, right? Yeah, stocks are weak, and you can see the U.S. dollar Mexican peso is heading right up towards resistance. So if we break higher here, it's probably as a result of the stock market going lower, in my opinion. Okay, back in a few moments. Don't go anywhere, guys and gals. I'll be back, and we will continue on with the remainder of these. Thank you. Be right back. All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You were listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. Okay, so we're going to go to the Aussie dollar. Real quick question that had come in, and Keith said, wouldn't the strong U.S. data equal stock market rally equal weaker U.S. dollar? Think about that for a second, Keith. If we get strong data, does that put us closer to a rate hike or further away from a rate hike? You answer that question, then figure it out from there, okay? If we have stronger data, does that put us closer to a rate hike or further away from a rate hike? Okay, so here's the Aussie. We stopped at the 618. Correct, Keith. Or Keith, you didn't even answer. You said, got it, thanks. Well, yeah, if we have good data, okay, it'll put us closer to a rate hike. The dollar should rally as a result. What will stocks do? I don't know. Do stocks like rates going up? I still think that they don't. But, you know, the dollar stocks may go up initially, and then people go, oh, crap, rates are going to go higher. And then they might go down again, you know what I mean? Like people go, yay, good data, you know, good data. You know, yay, good data, it's good for the U.S. economy. And then everybody goes, and then the stock market goes up, and then they go, oh, wait a second, rates might go up sooner rather than later. Oh, crap. And then they'll just turn around and sell stocks, you know? Okay. Anyway, Aussie, you can see really, this is in between fibs too. So let's delete that for a second. Let me try something really fast. Okay, with this Aussie dollar. Well, there you go. Okay, so we have, oops. Okay. Okay, we have all sorts of support here. That's what's supporting the Aussie big time. Okay, so if the Aussie breaks 70, 80, oh, that's like right here, isn't it? That's not going to be good. Look at how the Aussie just cannot bounce. What a pig. It's kind of like the cable. You know, you got the euro dollar, right? You got the euro dollar that's bouncing. Cable, no bounce. You know, Aussie, no bounce. Okay, so 70, 80. I'll write it down, but you know, if we break that, I'm going to just kind of leave it around here. If we break 70, 80, 70 cents is coming up. So I'll write down 0.7000 slash 0.7080. Okay. Resistance. 7160. It's good resistance. We were in a range here. Let's go to the dollar index. Dollar index is bullish now. Our dollar index is primarily euro anyway, so it's not drawn correctly. So we can just do this. $96.65. That was the number that we wrote down a bunch, right? We wrote that down like a lot last week or earlier this week, didn't we? So I'll just write 96.70 roughly. Resistance obviously is going to be, well, it's 98 cents now. I'm going to try something really quick. Let's hold there for a moment. Oops, wrong way. Okay, stand by. See, we're above that 618. Yeah, so what was the high here? The high, it's more than 97.53. What the why isn't that changing? Okay, I'll write down 97.85. Okay. All right. 97.85. Bullish. Okay. Let's write down the peso because this one's really important because we're right up against resistance. I might actually buy the peso today myself because I can. Because we were talking about, we've been talking about, we're at the bottom of this range, right? We're in a strong uptrend, right? Real strong uptrend. We're at the bottom of this current range, 38% retracements right here. We breached that, if there's some risk aversion out there, we breach that, then we're going, we're going higher. So 1670, 1633, right? US dollar, Mexican peso, 1633, 1670. We are in a range, but we're at the lower end of our range. Remember, this is a 38% retracement. Actually, was it 1671? You're right, 1671. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the Nordic currencies. They're really not doing anything. Swedish krona, Norwegian krona, they're just kind of flat on the day. Let's take a real quick look. So in the Norwegian krona, oh man, look at this. Are you kidding me? The US dollar Norwegian krona is about ready to break out and unleash hell on the market. You know what I mean? $8.60, if that breaks, I mean, think about the short squeezing we're going to do here in the US dollar Norwegian krona above 860. If we have strong data, I mean, we're here, right? 8.6. I might actually buy some. I want to say we're in a range, but man, we're about ready to turn bullish again. I mean, look at this. Look at the weekly charts. You want to stand in the way of that? Relative strength is almost moderated completely. It now has room to actually press higher towards like 9. It's doable. I don't even know where support is right now. I mean, that's an acceleration. Look at that accelerated move. If you've been shorting the dollar, especially against the Norwegian krona, you are really dead wrong. I mean, like as wrong as you can possibly be. I'm sorry if some of you guys are in that situation. I'm just pointing that out. I mean, it's like, wow, that is like, nonstop. It doesn't even care. I mean, it doesn't even matter. Crude oil doesn't even matter at this point. Support is just at 850 right now. So as long as, you know what, I'm going to change this. This is bullish. I'm going to change, as long as we're above 850, it looks like it's going to crack. It just has to stay above 850. If we can break back below 850 here, then we can break there. But right now, it looks like it's going to accelerate. So, we've got here, or, obviously somewhere down here, okay? Something like that. Swedish krona. No dip. The dollar. We said if the. Do you remember this yesterday? Yesterday we were selling off, right? The Swedish krona. Remember the Riksbank, they made their decision on interest rates yesterday. They didn't do anything. They actually expanded quantitative easing and it started going down. Yesterday's conversation, we said if the FOMC statement is hawkish, we can go back up and test the 618. Remember that? I said if it's dovish, we'll come back down here and retest, and that's why I drew the blue lines down here. You remember that conversation yesterday? Hawkish statement knocked us right into the 618, right? Just like and I wasn't trading it, so it's just as we planned though. It's a big deal because it looks like we want to take out these highs, which is at 857. On strong data, these Nordic currencies look like they can get worked over pretty hard. 857, 8.5700. this is really important resistance. This also is very important resistance. We are in a range though with the Swedish krona, and support would be now at 840. Okay. 8.400. Okay, we're done. We's done. We be done. Okay. I'm going to take your questions now.